All right. Hey, hello everyone. Let me make sure I get my Discord members to join as well, since this information will matter to them too. All right, I think most people have gotten their notifications, so hopefully the audio is doing fine as well. Let me... Hey, what's up guys? Hello, hello. See my quick joining in. All right, so welcome guys. I know it's a very early stream. It's an hour and 30 minutes earlier. But I do have some things I want to do later tonight, which is the reason why I am doing this stream very early. But yeah, before I begin though, I really want to thank you guys because these streams have been doing extremely well for the past couple of streams. I don't know if it's because of the topics that I'm talking about, or maybe it's just resonating more with people, or maybe people from the shorts videos are coming to watch the streams here. So okay, we're back. We are back. All right, I don't know what happened there, but hey, what's up, guys? Oh, more people coming in now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, I think the audio is fine now. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I think it's either the topics I'm talking about, or it could just be because of the fact that maybe you know, the information I'm giving to you guys is applicable and it's resonating for everyone. So if that is you, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. And if you're new here, if you guys came from the shorts videos that I've put out for the last couple of months, the last 2 months, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well if you are new here. All right, well, let's begin. We'll begin this very succinct but very informative live stream, because it's essentially going to be talking about what you guys should be looking out for tomorrow and potentially for the rest of this week. Okay, so first of all, broadly speaking, next week is a short trading week, because on Friday it's going to be the observed day of July 4th, right? It's the 250th anniversary of America's independence, and July 4th is actually on Saturday of next week. So Friday is going to be the observed day of July 4th, which means US equity markets will be closed. I'm pretty sure bond markets will be closed as well, but I'll have to recheck that information. But the most important part is that equity markets will be closed. And so that'll be interesting, but particularly interesting because of the fact that it's a short week. I expect market vol for the S&P 500 or VIX to essentially contract, right? So I believe, you know, yesterday was most likely going to be the high for VIX here, and based on the current after hours trading, I'm pretty sure we're going to start to see more contraction in market vol, allowing kind of that squeeze of market vol and that contraction into next week, which can allow some very low volume sideways consolidation as we move back up higher. Because again, even if VIX is following the actual market volatility, it is also the inverse of the S&P 500, if anyone didn't know that. Okay, so with that being said, if you want to go back to SPY now, we are focused right on this daily time frame for the S&P 500. I was really just observing and relaying my thoughts live on the S&P 500 ETF, or ticker symbol SPY, in the private CFO Discord chat room. So if you guys are wondering where you guys can join the private CFO Discord chat room, just check out the description box down below. The second link will provide you guys the details to essentially leading you guys to become members of the CFO Discord. Okay, so with that being said, what I was essentially relaying to my members here was that today is essentially a make or break day, right? And it's a 50-50 day because both buyers and sellers are residing right at this very critical area of support that is also coinciding with a very major daily SMA, which is my daily 50 SMA, this dark blue line. Okay, and this dark blue line has officially caught up to the price, and usually when that happens, okay, so again, this is my simple moving average. It's not an exponential moving average. Again, those are two different moving averages that are derived from different mathematical equations. But if you don't like the math side of that, just understand that simple moving averages are quote unquote slower moving, right? They tend to move very slowly on a daily time frame perspective, and compared to exponential moving averages, right? And obviously the exponential moving averages, or EMAs, are a lot quicker, right? They're a lot more, I guess, more similar to how they move from each other, right? If you're looking at the 9 EMA or the 10 EMA or 20 EMA and the 50 EMAs, they all kind of move in a similar manner, but they're just kind of different in the what am I trying to say here? The areas, right? The areas are different. Okay, so the SMAs here that I'm using, well, I've been using them for a long time, so I can kind of understand, well, not kind of, but I do understand what it means when the price specifically retests a specific major SMA like the daily 50 SMA. So number one, it clearly indicates that markets have given us a brief pause in momentum, and in this particular sense, an upside momentum, right? And it's indicating that, hey, the markets are in consolidation mode. It's in a consolidation phase. So the fact that the daily 50 SMA, which is supposed to be a little bit far away behind the price action or the candlesticks here, they're both synonymous there, it clearly indicates that the price is wanting to consolidate, but at the same time, there are going to be some volatile pullbacks and volatile bounces within their consolidation phase. All right, that's exactly what that means, right? Now, number two, okay, when there's an actual retest of the daily 50 SMA, there tends to be usually a very big impulsive move downward initially, right? During an uptrend, right? This is obviously in an uptrend. We're using the current actual markets to market action and trend to use this as an example. But when we do retest it after pulling in, we do tend to see an impulsive move lower that is immediately followed by a snapback move back higher, right? So that's essentially what we should be seeing. However, we didn't see that today because the bulls were really defending the 732 support level. And a couple of live streams ago, I mentioned that the S&P 500 ETF will most likely be consolidating between two major all-time high levels, and they will be 732 and 749.50, or if you just want to round up, 750. Does that make sense, guys? I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm trying to give you guys a little technical lesson here. Hey, what's up, guys? Hello, hello. Whoa, there's a lot of people here. Seems like more and more people are joining the streams here, which is awesome to see. So if you guys are new here, give a like or just react in the live chat room. We've been getting hundreds of viewers coming in as of late, so it's very nice to see you all here. Okay, well, there's a lot of people in here. I see you guys' emojis. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so these are the two specific levels. Now, obviously, during the oscillation process, obviously, during the consolidation phase, this is a pretty wide range, okay? So most of the major levels that are in between these two major levels, right, 732 and 749.50, or again, if you want to round up, 750, are going to be made and determined by my SMAs here, right? The daily 50 SMA, the daily 10 SMA, and the daily 21 SMA. So again, the daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs are my momentum pairs. Okay, I've mentioned this multiple times because this is what I use, and I really think that a lot of people can gain some sort of benefit of using the same similar SMAs that I have on my own chart that I've been using for years. Okay, so my short-term momentum pairs, the daily 10, this red line, and the daily 21, this light blue line, is currently curling downwards. Okay, so obviously that's not a good sign usually, and the fact that we have seen the daily 10 SMA cross below the daily 21 SMA also indicates that, hey, momentum has stopped officially. And the fact that currently, even with the after hours price action today, the price is still being treated the price is still treating my daily 10 and my daily 21 SMAs as major areas of SMA resistance. So that means sellers are still sitting at these major areas of resistance, SMA resistance. Now, you might be wondering, Andrew, like, how does that work? Or how do you know there are either buyers or sellers at these SMAs? Well, because the price reacts off of it, and I'm not the only person in the entire world who is looking at the S&P 500 ETF and not the only person using these specific SMAs, right? So again, maybe someone's using the 5 EMA, maybe someone's using the 20 SMA or EMA, right? They're kind of relatively the same, almost, right? And that's the reason why we tend to see kind of all these weeky price action, right? So whether it be the bottom wicks or the top wicks, but we do tend to see kind of these wicky reactions whenever we retest SMAs, major SMAs like the daily 10 and the daily 21 SMAs. I do know, I'm pretty sure I've seen people use the 9 and 20 EMAs or the 5 and 20 EMAs, or even the 5 and 15 EMAs before. So, you know, they're kind of similar, right? So now, with that being said, these two are still being major pain in the butt for buyers because it will continue to see sellers smacking the price back down whenever we try to retest it. And even after hours today, we got up to like almost to let's see, 738 I think was the after hours high here, or right under 738. But obviously sellers were still very much present yesterday and today, right around the 740 whole number level. Right, so obviously not just the SMAs make levels, but the whole numbers make levels as well. So there are a lot of sellers sitting right at the 740 level, which is the reason why tomorrow, right now, listen very carefully here, right? Do not go out of the stream here. 740 is going to be a major level to be looking at tomorrow. Okay, so right now, I think currently, let me make sure I get the number exactly right. Okay, so for SPY, where is it? Oh, come on. I'm trying to show you guys here, but I think Yahoo is not letting me see it for some odd reason. Okay, so SPY is sitting at 736.47 overnight in overnight trading hours. Okay, so there's still very much a heavy supply area from, I would say, around 738 to 740. So if we're able to break over 740 tomorrow at open, right, there should be a flood of stop loss orders being put out, or at least short sellers taking out their positions, which will further provide a tsunami of buyers to come in and bid the price over 740. All right, so that is something that you guys should be looking out for. Now, if tomorrow on a presumed gap up, okay, open, and we decide to sell off as people take profits, and sellers decide to pile in more during the action of profit taking from buyers, we need to see 732 being held, or else this level, if it breaks below again like it did today, that will release a new wave of short sellers to start pushing the price lower and eventually breaking below the daily 50 SMA. Okay, now I do want to remind you guys here that the daily 50 SMA, we barely closed over it today. right? Because the daily 50 SMA is currently sitting at 732.97, and the closing price today was 733.24. Okay, so obviously, yes, this won't really matter right now because of the overnight trading trading price, obviously, but it all depends on how the price moves during the cash session tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is this all making sense? Just make sure I'm catching you guys understanding everything that I'm saying here before I move on. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Ooh, it's kind of hot. Let me see. I'm drinking some water here real quick. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated as well. All right. So, looks like people got it. Awesome, awesome. All right. So, with that being said, now that's kind of my two different biases there, right? To the upside or to the downside. But based on how tech is moving, right? This is the next segue here to my next section that I want to talk about. QQQ, right? NASDAQ. This is Invesco QQQ Trust, which follows NASDAQ 100, right? The NASDAQ 100 index, for those who didn't know. So QQQ has been the major leader of this secular bull market, right? Which has also been led by semiconductors, the subgroup of the tech sector. And QQQ here has had an absolutely amazing time trading after hours because it popped all the way up to, I think, like 723, a little over 723, or maybe it is at 724 now. Let me see. Let's not use Yahoo here. Okay, it's at 722.87, so right underneath 723. Awesome. So just like with SPY. Okay, let me put on SPY here. All right, so once we're done with the technical analysis of QQQ and SPY, I'm gonna go over some specific option contracts that you guys could be looking out for tomorrow. So please wait until the end of the stream here. Okay, so just like what I did with SPY, right, with these two levels, these all-time high levels, I also gave you guys a couple streams ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. Maybe not that long ago. Maybe it was last week. So I gave you guys the same similar levels, not similar, but two specific levels, right? So 700 and 722. Now, what's interesting is that QQQ, or the overall tech sector, has been holding great relative strength compared to the S&P 500 ETF. And that makes sense, right? Because this is the sector that has been leading the entire secular bull market. And now you might be saying, wait a second, Andrew, how do you know NASDAQ has been stronger than, the S&P 500? Well, based on my technical charts and my SMAs here. Look at the daily 50 SMA for QQQ compared to the S&P 500, right? SPY. QQQ has not retested the daily 50 SMA, albeit it is getting pretty close to the price, right? The price action or the candlesticks. So for QQQ here, it is also parallel with SPY in the fact that we're about to see, we are in currently a consolidation phase, but it is not losing as much momentum and as much relative strength compared to SPY. That's all that it is saying here. And the fact that it is now over today's high, right? So today's high was 719.93, and the fact that after hours or overnight trading hours right now currently is sitting at $722.90 clearly tells me that we are about to see a bit more strength potentially at market open tomorrow from QQQ. And here's the thing. Tomorrow, right? I mean, not even just tomorrow. Right now, overnight, the daily 10 SMA on QQQ is still acting as a major area of SMA resistance, right? Because right now, the daily 10 SMA is at 723.14. That's exactly where it closed. But overnight, it's having a hard time getting back over 723, right? So you can presume, or actually not even just presume, you can assume right now that the overnight price action, if it was live, if the markets were live right now, and you guys can see the clear data that's happening on this chart, price will be struggling to try to get over this daily 10 SMA. So tomorrow, if we presume that we're going to be opening right around or right above or at 722, Okay, this is the next major and second level that I gave everyone 2 weeks ago or a couple streams ago. There is a chance that we can use 722 as a major area of support tomorrow. But if you lose that, look out for the previous high, which is 719.93, or again, just want to use whole numbers, right, to make it simple. 720 will be your next level to see bulls holding, right, this line of defense. 720 has to hold, or else we're coming right back down to the same bearish range that we saw today. Okay, now thankfully, the reason why I'm also seeing QQQ having more potential relative strength and more potential bullish momentum coming back, okay, specifically coming back, is that we are still pretty much far away from the daily 50 SMA. So it would take a lot of sellers to really try to push QQQ and NASDAQ down, back down to, you know, the lower levels that we saw today, and even trying to retest the daily 50 SMA. So even though I'm going to be expecting, I mean, I don't even have to expect it, the daily 50 SMA continues to climb up higher, and it continues to get closer and closer to the price action here or the candlesticks. Even though I am expecting that, I would still expect QQQ and NASDAQ to show the first signs of an inflection point back to the upside to essentially end this period of basically month-long period of consolidation, because this consolidation officially began when this month began. Okay, so June 3rd for QQQ, and obviously for SPY as well, June 3rd. All right, so basically the beginning of this month. Is this all making sense? Yes? Are we good? Are we good here? All right. Oh, we almost have 100 people watching here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have about 65 people here. Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right. And again, if anyone is new here, and if you guys have been watching the stream right now from the start to currently right now, and if you guys are enjoying the information that I'm giving you guys, or if you guys find this information applicable potentially tomorrow, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to check out my other streams or my other replays that I have on this channel, or even just on my YouTube shorts. They're usually less than 2 minutes or around 2 minutes, but there's a lot of information packed into those very short form videos, so make sure you guys watch them as well, especially if you guys are new here. So with SPY here, with QQQ here, this is a pretty wide trading range, right? 22-point difference between these two levels, and also this is pretty wide as well. I mean, 732 to 750, right? They're both pretty wide price ranges, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Now, for tomorrow and for the rest of this week, and based on the overall macro view on the overall markets, including next week, especially if you were to assume, again, what I told you guys earlier in the stream, that VIX would contract, market vol will contract, and we're going to be seeing a bit more relative strength coming back to the markets, especially into leading groups, and kind of away from laggard groups, but at the same time, even from defensive sectors, right? Like utilities, healthcare, energy, industrials, consumer staples, right? You name it, right? If we start to see a bit more of that relative strength coming out from those specific sectors and groups back into leaders, that can further provide downward pressure on market vol, and we could see VIX contracting even further. So a way to easily check how VIX could be opening tomorrow as well, just take a look at VIX futures, okay, if you guys didn't know. Okay, so VIX futures opened up with slight gap down, okay, but it is moving slightly higher, right? Obviously, right, VIX is still staying relatively tame, obviously because of the fact that the overall markets have moved a pretty significant amount of points after hours and overnight trading hours too. So, I would say this is still pretty good downward move on VIX futures, but I would say still be cautious, right? We could still see this candlestick pushing up higher by tomorrow morning at open, when the cash session opens. So, just don't let your guard down, all right? And you guys have two very specific levels for each of these two tickers, right? For SPY and QQQ. So please keep them on your watch. All right, and again, 740, 732 for SPY. For QQQ, it's literally 722 and 700. Okay, I know QQQ has a lot wider price range to look at for tomorrow compared to SPY with 740 and 732. But then again, if you guys are focusing on the bigger picture, 749.50 or 750 if you want to round up, and 732 are your bigger picture levels to be really looking out for if you want to choose a position to determine where the markets could be going. But obviously, we should be reacting to the markets and being proactively reacting to the markets, okay? Not trying to bet when the markets are going to go, right? Just like today. That's exactly what I told my members today in the private CFO Discord, by the way, that, when the markets are sitting at the daily 50 SMA and coinciding with the major support level like 732 on this daily time frame, it's a good idea to just sit on your hands, wait it out, and see how the bulls and the bears battle it out, right? How they battle it out in this area of major support and potentially major resistance depending on where the price goes, right? And once we do see a complete inflection with massive amount of volume in that direction, then we can have some conviction to try to trade in that direction as well, right? And the reason why I'm saying some, keyword some, because again, we are still in a consolidation phase, right? Until we break out of this consolidation phase. So now here is where we come into the more important, bigger picture stuff for SPY, okay? So listen carefully here. Do not exit from the stream, right? If you guys haven't noticed, we are making a pretty solid wedge chart pattern, right? And this is still not really helping our case here, to be honest. Oh, welcome guys. There's almost 100 people here now. Wow. Welcome in, guys. Welcome. So here's where things can become a bit more complicated, right? Or at the very least, it is solidifying the fact that I am seeing a lot of divergences across the markets. Okay, so this wedge chart pattern is inherently a neutral chart pattern, and the reason why I say that is that, well, it can provide both a bullish and a bearish breakout, right? Even at the same time sometimes, right? In the same week or in the same month, right? Because sometimes in a wedge, okay, as the price consolidates until it reaches a specific near convergence point of these two trend lines here that you guys see, right? Right, this descending resistance trend line in red and this ascending support trend line in green, okay? At some point, it's going to break out, right? Let's say it breaks out to the upside for the sake of our example. But it can come right back down and retest a major level of resistance as previous resistance as new support, like 749.50 here, and it can bounce. Or sellers can come right back down, okay, push the price right back into the ranges that it was in before, and eventually have a nice big breakdown to the downside. Okay, so that could be the result of trying to play, or that could be the result of the price consolidating within this wedge chart pattern that is currently being formed right now, right? And sometimes, well, not sometimes, I have seen this many times before, where just the overall consolidation within this massive wedge chart pattern that forms in the markets frustrate both sides. And guess what? We had one just this year. Okay, right around here. Okay, but in fact, in this case, we just continue to stay within the parameters set up by this wedge chart pattern, and eventually, due to a bunch of different factors, but most importantly, macro factors and geopolitical factors, the price broke downward. Okay, but again, this could essentially happen. All right, so watch out for that. So again, that's the reason why I'm saying wedge chart patterns can provide more confusion for both sides. Okay, and for the sake of this example and for the sake of our inherently bullish stance on the overall markets, I would say that we should be seeing okay, a continued consolidation within this chart pattern. So again, as it continues to form the wedge chart pattern and as it continues to conform to the parameters set up by these two trend lines, we should be seeing a nice breakout to the upside, hopefully. Okay, so to give us that second leg up higher into new all-time highs. Now, the only way that we can confirm a true inflection point has occurred and we are back to all-time highs is this specific previous pivot high point. All right, don't go away from the stream, guys, right now. Do not. There's more people coming in right now too. We have officially 101 viewers watching the stream. So welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well. All right. So right here, okay, this is the previous pivot high point at 756.68. Okay, so if we're able to break over and print a price that's over 756.68, even by 1 cent, that is letting us know that bulls are getting on the bears' nerves, right? We are starting to make higher highs. And the fact that if we do reach this previous pivot high point, that means, well, the price itself was also already making higher highs and higher lows. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, that's another way to look at more evidence of the fact that the markets are in a consolidation phase, is that, well, we're still making higher lows, even if we're making lower highs. All right, so with the combination of lower highs and higher lows, that gives us, well, more probabilities of the fact that we are definitely in a consolidation phase and more probabilities that we can start to form a chart pattern like this wedge chart pattern that we like to see and we tend to see on average when the markets decide to consolidate after a massive rally up higher or just during a simple uptrend. This is all really good technical analysis knowledge, so hopefully you guys are understanding this. All right, this is basic fundamental technical analysis and technical analysis knowledge, so please try to make your mind into a sponge and remember all this information. But at the same time, once I'm done with the stream here, you guys will be able to get and watch the replay of this stream since it will be posted by default. Okay, so now let's go for the grand finish here for this stream. All right, we are going to look at some potential option contracts to trade for tomorrow for both SPY and QQQ. So do not click away from the stream. All 104 people that is watching this stream. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So welcome in, guys. Welcome in. All right, so here it is. Let's take a look at the options chain. Where are you? So I'm going to take a look at July 2nd. Okay, the reason being is that, again, based on what I've said earlier, for the fact that if we can see a move higher as VIX contracts, right, as volatility contracts, we should be seeing essentially a pretty easy move higher into next week's holiday week, right? It's a short trading week with July 3rd being the observed holiday for July 4th, which is on Saturday. Okay, so that's a great time for bulls to really just pound the bid, right? And push the price up higher. So I'm going to be looking at July 2nd. Okay, so that's the expiration day for tomorrow. So again, this is just essentially a weekly expiration day. So this is kind of high risk, but there is some good trading opportunities here. So it seems like right now, based on the options here, options chain, there's a lot of activity at 750, right? There's a lot of open interest, right? There's OI of 10,286 contracts with the volume today of 9,808 contracts, which could, a majority of this can move over to the OI tomorrow. So I would definitely be looking at 750 on the 750 strike call contract here for the expiration date of, again, July 2nd. Okay, so I will be looking at this one and potentially grabbing this one if and only if we are able to break over 740. Okay, that's the major key level to be looking at tomorrow, guys. All right, I mentioned this multiple times throughout the stream. Right, so again, SPY. This is the last time I'll be saying this. 740 and 732, and also I would have to also give a little side note: the daily 50 SMA, if you guys use SMAs, all right, will be your levels to be looking at for tomorrow and for the rest of this week. And then for QQQ, 722 and 700, along with its own respective daily 50 SMA, will be your levels to look at for tomorrow. Okay, all right. So again, with that being said, again, as a reminder, 750 will be the contract that I will be looking at for tomorrow. But if anyone wants a little bit more of a less riskier and less out the money contract, 740 is completely fine as well. I mean, this had more. Whoopsies! I didn't mean to click that. Let's go back. Okay, so 740 will be the key here, right? Because there's more volume than open interest today, right? So I really want to see, I'm going to check OI tomorrow to confirm whether or not the buyers here are holding into tomorrow, right? And obviously this volume can change a lot tomorrow as well, because, well, if these traders held overnight, then they'll most likely want to take profits due to the fact that the markets are up. I think, let's see, what's the official number right now? Yeah, SPY is up around 0.38%. Okay, so you know, I would assume that they want to take profits, but again, 740 is the exact level that we're looking at as well. So if we were to break over 740 tomorrow, then I would want to pile in to these contracts to be able to take that opportunity to profit off of a major move over 740 and over my daily 10 SMA, which will eventually cause a more impulsive move back to the daily 21 SMA to retest it. And at that point, the daily 21 SMA should be around like 745.80-ish, around there. I would say 745.80-ish to 745.50-ish. Now, you guys might be saying, wait, how do you know this, right? Well, because I know how my SMAs move, right? Okay, so that is your thing there to look at for SPY. Okay, and for any puts now, okay? So for puts, so let's say SPY at open just completely sells off and retests 732, and we continue to see an enormous amount of selling volume coming in, okay? And if that does occur, right, I will be looking at specifically the 725 strike put contract here, okay? Right, massive amount of volume today and compared to the open interest. Okay, I'm pretty sure I had that right, yeah. Okay, so the reason why 725 is that, well, that was also the previous pivot low point, right? Around here, right? 725, 724, around this range. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. It's a pretty logical strike to choose on any major move down. Is that making sense, everyone? Hopefully, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Like the stream, whatever you want to do. Okay, I see you guys. I saw a few reactions there. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, 725 will be the strike for the put contract that I want to be looking at if we break below 732. But again, there's a lot of buyers here as well, okay, based on the after hours action. I'm sure some stops were triggered and a lot of shorts had to get out after hours or even just overnight trading if their broker allows it. So you know, there will be a need for a fresh wave of sellers to come in at 732. Right, okay, this is a major level of support. Okay, I'm highlighting that using my green color here. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at QQQ. Okay. Bam. So QQQ, same strike. If you were to focus on what I said earlier about market volatility contraction. Oh, look at that. Finally, Yahoo is giving me the overnight trading. I don't know what happened earlier. I was trying to show you guys this, but it wasn't updating at all. Okay, so right now QQQ is sitting at 720, so right below 722 now, right? And also right above today's high, and exactly what I talked about earlier a couple minutes ago as well. Okay, so if tomorrow we are not able to hold, depending on whether or not we open at 722 or slightly above 722, or we open slightly at or above today's high of day price at 719.93, right, will determine if you want to grab calls or puts tomorrow. Okay, so again, if you're focusing on that minute detail, right, rather than focusing on these two levels, 722 and 700, right, I will want to be looking at I had this earlier. Okay, so I want to be looking at where is it? Or actually, let me look at the puts first. Yeah, so I'll be looking at 700. I mean, that makes sense. All right, we're looking at the 700 level. So again, if you are not able to, well, if bulls aren't able to hold either 722 or the previous high of the day, which is again today's high of 719.93, then there's a chance that we just come right back down to the ranges that we saw today, which is mostly bearish volume and some pretty big jumps in put option contracts, right, or put option volume, right? So even just a move back down to even just today's close, I mean, these 700 strike put contracts will gain some hefty premium, okay, a hefty amount in value here, okay. So make sure to watch out for that. All right, now for the opposite side, right, if we open up, okay, so right now I think, yeah, we're still staying pretty relatively close to 722, and this right now, by the way, guys, this overnight action so far is still respecting today's high, okay, of high of 719.93. So if you're able to either stay above today's high, and if we're able to open up at 722 tomorrow, there's a good chance that we can be seeing slight profit taking tomorrow morning. But again, as long as we're able to hold today's high and we come right back up and pivot right away, right, a nice snapback up move higher, we can see we can actually see a nice grab, right, of the, let's see, where was it? I think 725 here. Okay, so 725 strike call contract is what I would want to be looking at. Okay, so this might be a little bit expensive for you guys because the premium will be a little higher. Well, obviously because QQQ is up over 1.49%. But if you guys want a more out the money contract that is slightly cheaper but will still be elevated in premium at open tomorrow, I would say even 740 is fine too, guys. I mean, 740 is a major level here, right? Right there, ma'am. Okay. I mean, you guys can choose that. I mean, I really wouldn't want that. I want to make sure I'm sticking a little bit closer to the underlying share price, or at the very least at the money. So, I mean, yeah, 740 is fine if you guys want to choose that. Okay, for the call contract. Okay, but in summation of the contracts that I just given you guys, okay, remind yourselves that this is basically a weekly contract, right? Because the contracts expire on July 2nd, and it's a short trading week tomorrow. So if you guys aren't looking to actively trade the markets like this, using these leveraged products like option contracts that are essentially weekly expiring option contracts, do not play these contracts. As simple as that, right? And what you can use from this live stream, right, and what can be actually applicable are my levels, right? My levels and my overall analysis. And my overall analysis tends to be very correct during consolidation phases for some reason. All right, I've been very pretty accurate, I would say. Precise or accurate. By the way, precision and accuracy are two different things when it comes to stats, by the way, if you guys want to know a fun fact on math and science, actually. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the analysis here could be very useful. So you guys can take that away from the stream tonight. So all right, to all 118 of you guys here. All right, so yeah, that is it for tonight, guys. I mean, hopefully you guys had a very nice time with me tonight on this very succinct but hopefully very informational and hopefully applicable live stream tonight. I usually do my live streams for anyone that's new on Monday and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, I decided to do my stream earlier tonight due to particular personal reasons. But that's usually the time that I do my streams, and throughout the week, I tend to upload short videos. Right? If you guys just go on my Shorts tab on this channel, you guys can see the copious amounts of Shorts videos that I've uploaded in the last 2 months. All right, so please make sure to watch those as well. All right, maybe you guys can look at my stream on Monday. My stream on Monday was pretty useful too, so please watch that. Let me leave a link down below, or let me leave a link in the chat room here. You guys can just simply go to my channel again. Just click on Charts Focus 1 here, and and you guys can go there. Okay, so let me. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, so in Monday's stream, okay, so this is the stream that was coinciding with my CFO Swing and Watch report that I send out every single week on a weekly basis. Okay. This stream I talk about why software will be seeing a major re-rate from the markets into the end of this decade, into the 2030s. Okay, so please watch this stream that I did on Monday. All right, I think it's going to be very useful information for the future. All right. Okay, that is it for tonight, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday for the streams, and if you guys are subscribed, you guys will be seeing more Shorts videos tomorrow. So watch out for that. But yeah, stay subscribed. Right, like the streams, like the videos. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. More and more people can see my videos, and also it can help out you guys as well. If you guys are subscribed, and if you guys like the videos that I put out, whether it be the stream replays or the shorts, it will push my videos to your homepage. So if you want more content from me, well, just simply like. And obviously subscribe and hit that notification bell as well too. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night, guys. Hopefully this stream was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, to all 120 of you guys. But yeah, good luck tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Monday or tomorrow on the Shorts tab of this channel. Thank you so much for watching.